The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom could be a huge disappointment to the Zelda community. We are currently 4 months out from the game's release with still little to no information on the game. From what we have seen, or should I say, from what we haven't seen, the game could turn out to be a glorified DLC by reusing the same Hyrule map and very similar gameplay gimmicks. One new area, however, which is shown to be completely new is the Sky Islands, which shows great potential with new areas to explore and potentially changing the landscape of Lower Hyrule in order to change things up for us. However, as not much is known about this currently, we don't know to what extent the Sky Islands will be involved in the gameplay, whether it will be very spread out and empty to explore, similar to Wind Waker's Ocean or Skyward Sword's Sky Islands, or if it'll be extremely detailed like Breath of the Wild's landscapes. Another area which I and other members of the Zelda community have worries about is the open-ended world of Breath of the Wild being ruined and replaced with a more linear pathway. As we already know, the shrines have been removed, and we don't know if Koroks have been removed as well. Because of this, we do not know if there's any good replacements for these, and additionally, we don't know if the gameplay will be pushed in a more linear story type way by making the players go to specific dungeons in specific orders, such as any other Zelda game, such as Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. If this is the case, another worry is that the ability to go straight to the final boss from the beginning of the game, which is a very cool point of Breath of the Wild, could be completely removed in Tears of the Kingdom. With this worry comes a similar worry, which is about how the dungeons will work in the game. While I feel like this could be a whole video on its own, the main points I have around it is that I'm hoping the game does not completely limit the brilliant controls and movement of Link to make dungeons more linear and to work more like traditional mainline Zeldas. However, I would be very interested to see how they can get a good balance to both make dungeons feel like a traditional Zelda game without losing the multiple solutions aspect of the game, which made it so interesting if they choose to go down this route. This story has become a big selling point of Tears of the Kingdom, being the forefront of each trailer, with Ganon and other goddess-like beings being present alongside the repair of the Master Sword, and it has been described in the past as being as dark as Majora's Mask. My main worry about this is that the story will be handled in a similar way to Breath of the Wild, with it for the most part being optional. The worry about this is that most of the story will be about past scenarios rather than the present scenarios, which as a result we will already know the ending of the story, such as Link was defeated and the Calamity Ganon was released in Breath of the Wild, or that Ganondorf was sealed in Tears of the Kingdom. However, as a footnote, it'd be an interesting twist if Ganondorf's seal was planned rather than a trap in this past scenario. I think that a nice way to do the story is to continue to have some cutscenes in the past describing what happened to Ganondorf and why he was sealed through side quests similar to how Link pieced together his past in Breath of the Wild. To make this as a reward for exploring the sky or other areas of Hyrule, alongside having optional story given. Additionally, I believe that the player should have the ability to go straight to the final battle like Breath of the Wild and have all the main dungeons optional, and completing them will have similar benefits as the dungeons of Breath of the Wild, which have additional story, heart pieces, new abilities, and a potentially easier final battle. Another linked worry I have about the story, and probably the main one, is that the quest for repairing the Master Sword could be mandatory to complete the game, as I believe one of the interesting parts of Breath of the Wild was the fact that the Master Sword wasn't actually needed to complete the final battle, and by going out of the way to get the Master Sword, you were rewarded with new story and a great unbreakable weapon. And as a final point, and something I need to say before and probably after a lot of you guys have went to the comment section slaughtering me for this video, is that I have full trust in the Zelda team to make a terrific sequel to Breath of the Wild, and I cannot wait to play Tears of the Kingdom in the near future. Check out my other video which is coming out soon, which is explaining everything I'm excited to see from Tears of the Kingdom as a Zelda fan next.